fascinating Nigeria.
Hello, it's another Wednesday night, a news extra night, and I can assure you that it's truly extra tonight with incisive and analytical stories with that extra touch. We'll start from the nation's powerhouse, where the highest decision-making body in the country has again taken some decisions at its Wednesday's meeting. Wait for the decisions. It was an interesting day at the National Assembly with interesting decisions taken as well. And for some governors, it is celebration time as the Supreme Court affirms their elections. There are human angle stories, business, development news, and much more. Now, let's not dwell on the teaser. Let's get into the nitty-gritty as the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umaruba, and this is News Extra. Now we begin. 9 new permanent secretaries have been sworn in to fill existing vacancies in the Federal Civil Service. The swearing-in ceremony, President Muhammadu Buhari presided the weekly meeting of the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Products of a rigorous selection process, the new appointees are coming on board following a presidential approval for the appointment of 1 permanent secretary from each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The same approval also saw the retirement of the permanent secretaries representing Borno, Kebbi, Kwara, Niger and Ogun states. Those appointed therefore includes Hassan Musa from Borno State, Aliyu Ahmad from Niger State, Olushola Olayinka Idowu, Ogun State, David Adejo Andrew representing North Central Zone, and Tijani Umar, North East Zone. The Northwest Zone has Dr. Nasir Sani Gwarzo as representative, Nebo Lisa Anako, Southeast, Temitope Peter Fashedemi, Southwest, and Dr. Evelyn Ngige for the South-South Zone. President Muhammadu Buhari did not speak at the event, but the acting head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Folashade Yemi Ashong, in an interview, tasked the appointees to live above board in the discharge of their responsibilities.
The government expects that they will put everything into their job and that they will work with integrity and that hard work will be their hallmark. It's important to drive Nigeria to the next level.
Some of the new permanent secretaries spoken to were full of appreciation to President Muhammadu Buhari for the confidence reposed in them, which they promised not to betray.
Each one of us is fully aware that nothing but the best is expected of us in the discharge of our responsibility. And I make this solemn declaration that I would do my very best, and I believe that it will be in the pursuit, of the aspirations of this government.
It's a position of trust, and we are grateful for the opportunity. We do know that Mr. President has very high standard in terms of accountability, transparency, and good governance. So we would try as much as possible to live up to that standard.
One will have to bring in all the past experience, the exposure, the contacts, every opportunity to bear in the work. New hands into the role of permanent secretaries bring in innovative ideas, and we will surely bring into bear in our responsibilities.
Apart from being chief accounting officers, permanent secretaries also have the responsibility of, among others, supporting and advising ministers, as well as ensuring effective management of human resources and implementation of policies, projects, and priorities of government. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the deployment and redeployment of federal permanent secretaries. Edit Sunday Akman, deployed to the Ministry of Mines and Steel, then Esther Walton-Jack takes over in the Ministry of Power. Dr. Abdulkadir Muaz now moves to the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. Dr. Mohammed Bello Umar deployed to Ministry of Science and Technology. Other permanent secretaries redeployed include Olushadi Adeshola to the Niger Delta Affairs Ministry. Gabriel Tanimu Aduda is to take charge of the Youth and Sports Ministry. Bitrus Bako Nabasu is deployed to Petroleum Resources Ministry. Afolabi Ernest has also been redeployed to the office of the Head of Service of the Federation CSO, while Maurice Nnamdi is being moved to the Police Affairs Ministry. Dr. Bakari Wadinga takes charge in the Ministry of Environment. And 1 week after the Senate received presidential request for the approval of nominees for chairman and members of the Federal Inland Revenue Service Board, the nominees have been confirmed. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports that the Senate also confirmed the appointment of Edward Adamu as a chairman of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria.
Less than 24 hours after the Senate Committee on Finance screened 7 nominees for appointment as chairman and members of the Federal Inland Revenue Service Board, the Senate has confirmed the nominees as recommended by the committee. The 14-member board has Mohammed Nami as chairman, with representation from the 6 geopolitical zones, while 7 nominees who were automatically approved will be representing ministries, departments and agencies.
They have a lot of work to do, and this Senate particularly will ensure that we work with them all the way to ensure that they do meet their targets and even beyond the targets.
It was a day of report consideration at the Senate. Its joint committees on Navy, Marine Transport and Finance also presented its report on the investigation of alleged illegal security operations by a private firm at the secured anchorage area of Lagos Seaport. The committee found out that the engagement of the private firm to assist the Nigerian Navy was legal and recommended that its services be retained till the Nigerian Navy is equipped to handle the security operations independently.
Since no fraud is found in the operation of the OMSL and is operating at no cost to government, OMSL should be allowed to continue its operation at the SAA.
We cannot mortgage our security in the hands of some ad hoc arrangement. The government wants to take charge of the responsibility of the security.
We are not saying this company should stay there permanently, perpetually. No. If the NPA feels they have a better system to put in place, let them bring out the system so that we will know. Then we wait and then they take over.
Senate approved the recommendations with a call for an urgent need to strengthen the Nigerian Navy for the task, especially in acquiring security vessels.
That they have only one functioning ship. This is a challenge to all of us, the National Assembly particularly. We have to do something for the Nigerian Navy.
6 higher institutions establishment bills were passed, with 1 for amendment, 3 for universities, 2 for polytechnics, and the other for College of Education. Senate has condemned the killing of Professor Jerome Elushian of Obafemi Awolowo University by unknown persons and called for the strengthening of security across the country, especially at this festive season. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
And the House of Representatives wants the National Security Councils to be expanded as it seeks the inclusion of presiding officers of the National Assembly. A bill to that effect passed through second reading at Wednesday's plenary. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The bill, sponsored by Odebumi Olusegun, seeks an amendment of the 3rd schedule of the Constitution to enable the inclusion of the National Assembly presiding officers as members of the National Security Council.
There's need for us to be working together in a single table to discuss the securities of this nation.
The membership of the 2 presiding officers in the National Security Council will avail the Council the opportunity of getting actionable and credible intelligence of what is happening in all the nooks and crannies of the country.
Other bills passed at second reading include a bill to reconstitute the Meteorological Training Institute, a bill to establish Federal College of Agriculture, Ijebu-Ijesha, and a bill to establish Federal Medical Center, Ganduje. House members adopted a motion calling for the phasing out of unpainted taxis in Abuja due to security concerns. This was moved by Leki Abejide, and the motion from Ajibola Moroina, which sought the promotion and standardization of herbal medicine in Nigeria. The lawmakers resolved to investigate alleged non-remittance of revenue by Petroleum Products Pricing and Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, and also mandated the House Committee on Niger Delta Development Commission to summon NDDC management to provide explanations.
Onichukwu Dumuje Road, Onichukwu Dumogo Road, and Onichukwu Civic Center projects. The House is concerned that since the contractors were mobilized to go to the site, nothing has been done on any of the roads.
Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila conveyed to House members President Buhari's appreciation for early budget passage.
He says boldly, and I repeat boldly, he hopes and wishes that the harmonious relationship between the National Assembly and the executive will continue for the good of the people of Nigeria.
Among items considered and adopted at the Committee of the Whole was the report of the ad hoc committee set up to investigate the circumstances surrounding the alleged abscondment of 5 Nigerian soldiers of Operation Harbin Kunama with large amounts of cash from the National Assembly. Lami Ali, NTA News.
Oh, thank you, Lami. In another development, the Supreme Court of Nigeria has affirmed the victories of the governors of Oyo, Kaduna and Nasarawa states at the 2019 governorship elections. The 7-man panel of justices led by Justice Mary Odili has also delivered judgment in 5 other governorship appeals. Olabode Arera reports.
The 8 appeals heard by the Supreme Court included that of the PDP's David Ombugadu challenging the victory of Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, that of Issa Ashiru of the PDP challenging the victory of Governor Nasiru El-Rufai of Kaduna State, and that of Oyo Governor Oluseyi Makinde challenging the Court of Appeal judgments, which found merit in the appeal of the APC's Adebayo Adelabu, but which declined to order a retrial of the petition at the tribunal because the tribunal's lifespan had lapsed. The Apex Court dismissed the 3 appeals for lacking in merit. The Supreme Court also upheld the victory of the governors of Katsina State, Ebonyi, Lagos, Ogun, and Akwa Ibom states.
They are given 3-4 judgments today, and we abide by the said judgments. All I can say as senior counsel is that we commend the court.
The Supreme Court is the final bus stop, and as a minister in the Temple of Justice, I am bound by the judgments. My client is bound by it. Every one of us are bound by it.
I will urge all Akwa Ibom members of the All Progressive Congress, let us come together. This is the final court. We cannot appeal any further. We'll have to cooperate with the government of the state, work together to make sure we progress the entire state under the leadership of at the federal level of President Muhammadu Buhari.
The Supreme Court, in reaching these decisions, considered the provisions of the Net Constitution, the Electoral Act of 2010, and the INEC guidelines on the conduct of elections. The resolution of this election appeal affirms the supremacy of the judiciary as the place to go for the resolution of disputes, particularly electoral disputes. In Abuja, Olabode Arera, NTA News.
The Federal Executive Council has begun intensive scrutiny and evaluation of the performances of its members in the first 100 days in office. This is to ascertain whether or not the desired objectives are being realized regarding the areas of mandate assigned to them. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that 3 ministers have so far been engaged.
Presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, the marathon meeting of the Federal Executive Council that lasted more than 8 hours was the last for the year 2019. During the period, no memoranda was considered for approval. Rather, the next-level ministers were put to task on what they have been able to achieve so far in the first 100 days in office. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, told the council that the passage of the Deep Offshore Amendment Act was one of the critical mandate areas fully accomplished by his ministry.
We also reported that work is ongoing on the PIB and that hopefully the PIB will be passed into law by June next year. Next year, we will open the gas sector and a lot will happen in the gas sector in Nigeria. Rehabilitation of Port Harcourt refinery will commence in January. 2020 will be a very busy year for the oil industry in Nigeria.
For the Transportation Minister, Rotimi Amechi, the pressure on the Kaduna-Abuja rail line is of concern, but the good news is that more coaches and locomotives are to be deployed soon for lasting solutions.
I believe that this January the President will commission 8 new coaches and 2 new locomotives, DMU, to carry passengers from Abuja to Kaduna and Kaduna back to Abuja. Also reported that Itape Warri should be ready for commissioning between January and April, depending when the President is available to commission it. We believe that Lagos to Ibadan should be able to be commissioned before April, if the President's program will permit him. We expect the China Exim Bank to approve the loan for Ibadan to Kano in January. If they do approve the loan in January, we expect that work should commence between January and February next year in Ibadan to Kano. We will also put 1 DMU of 8 coaches and 2 locomotives this January on the Lagos to Ibadan to convey passengers free of charge until April, when the President will commission the project.
Issues relating to revenue performance and expenditure dominated discussions when the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, mounted the hot seat.
The revenue performance prorated to third quarter of 2019 is 4.25 trillion, and that represents a performance of 81%. The GDP growth that we planned for 2019 was 3.5%, and the third quarter GDP performance, you all know, was reported as 2.28%. On expenditure, we have been able to release all that is required for personnel, so personnel expenditure is on course. Debt service is also on course. On overheads, we have been able to release 8 months overhead for general MDAs and 11 months overhead for some MDAs that we classify as critical.
On capital expenditure, the minister said as at last week, over 1.2 trillion naira has been released, covering 50% for the year 2019.
And now that Mr. President has assented to the 2020 budget, which is a major achievement for this government, it is clear that the 2019 budget is also a 6-month budget. So we've achieved 50% capital release for 50% performance of the 2019 budget. We've also been able to pass through the National Assembly, and the National Assembly has passed the Finance Bill of 2019. I believe by today or tomorrow the bill will be conveyed to Mr. President for his assent.
The minister said the process of the new long-term development plan has already started, and the roadmap will soon be subjected to various stakeholder review. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And when the Buhari administration began the implementation of the social investment projects in Nigeria, some of the variables are left for states to choose to better the lots of their people. In the next report, Emmanuel Akila tells us how Gombe State has been covered in the social safety net of the Youth Employment and Social Support Operation YESU, putting smiles on the faces of the poor in the Yuletide.
YESU, a national program, has 2 components: the public work fair and the special grant transfer. They are targeted at unemployed youths indigent members of the society, and internally displaced persons. With the implementation of YESO in Gombe State, 27,000 beneficiaries have been receiving their debit cards for the monthly collection of 7,500 naira with 5 months arrears.
I'm very happy today.
Governor Inwe Yahaya has been touring the 11 local government areas of the state to personally disburse the stipends to the beneficiaries.
In the 6 months of this administration, we have enrolled over 27,000 beneficiaries across the 11 local government areas in line with the World Bank's target.
Inwe Yahaya believes fighting poverty also involves long-term capital investment, which is why the APC government in Gombe State declared a state of emergency on the education sector.
We are going to have a model school in each of the zones of the senatorial zones of Gombe State.
The tour of the local government areas is also punctuated with flag-off of roads construction in an initiative the governor calls Network 1100.
Because it is aimed at curtailing the problems facing us in our community.
It's not unexpected knowing that this government is a government that is so progressive.
Governor Inwe Yahaya is not only concerned about uplifting the present situation of the people to the next level, but also about driving the state on the path of sustainable growth and development. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Oh, good news there from Gombe. Now, the All Progressives Congress APC has appointed a high-level 10-member National Reconciliation Committee with President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, as chairman. A statement by the National Publicity Secretary, Larry Issa Onilu, says the action is in line with the resolution of the party's National Executive Committee. The 10-member committee is empowered to address grievances of party members and resolve existing conflicts with a view to fostering unity and oneness within the party. And up ahead, another case of man's inhumanity to man manifest in the sexual assault of 2 aged women in Ibadan. But the good news is that justice is on course. Details after the break. Please stay.
Maize Association of Nigeria wishes to congratulate President Muhammadu Buhari on his 77th birthday. Mr. President, as you mark another birthday, our prayers for you on this special day is for the Almighty to continue to grant you good health of mind and body to keep up with the good work of governing this great nation, Nigeria. And may your footprint on the sand of time never be washed away. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Announcer Bello Abubakar Anu Fontua, President, Maize Association of Nigeria.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, invites select directorate and senior level officers at the ministries, departments and agencies to the second phase of a 4-day specialized capacity building program on policy implementation and cabinet documentation processes for enhanced service delivery. Theme: capacity building on policy management processes and cabinet documentation for enhanced service delivery. Training objective: to strengthen the skills of directorate and senior level officers at the ministries, departments and agencies in the area of policy management, including preparing and processing of council documents. The training is scheduled to hold as follows. Date: December 19th to 22nd, 2019. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Venue: Center for Management Development, Shangisha, Lagos State. All participants are expected to arrive on Wednesday, December 19th, 2019 for induction ceremony at 4 p.m. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Babatunde Lawal, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Announcer.
Nothing can stop you from achieving your dreams but you. Nothing can stop energy and nothing can stop you.
Chris Air Fine Jewelry and Timepieces. Visit us at Transcorp Hilton Lobby opposite UBA, Abuja.
Think about them. No be only cloth this sewing machine they make. If you put food for your table and roof over person head, can you go ogbonge fashion show around the world? Find the cocoa inside every story. Go bbc.com/pidgin to see more of your world.
The Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Shamsuna Ahmed, hereby invites all heads of federal government ministries, departments and agencies, NDAs, representatives of states and local governments, private sector operators, captains of industry and commerce, development partners, media practitioners and other relevant stakeholders to a public presentation and breakdown of the highlights of the 2020 Appropriation Act. Date, Thursday, 19th December 2019. Time, 9 a.m. Prompt, venue, Main Auditorium, Federal Ministry of Finance, Central Business District, Abuja. Ben Akabweze, Director General, Budget Office of the Federation. Announcer.
Them girls just they feel me now, cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they want to get it. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria wishes to congratulate President Muhammadu Buhari on his 77th birthday. Mr. President, as you mark another birthday, our prayers for you on this special day is for the Almighty to continue to grant you good health of mind and body to keep up with the good work of governing this great nation, Nigeria. Rice Farmers Association will continue to give you all the support you deserve to achieve your dream of making Nigeria among world exporters of rice. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Announcer, Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria.
Welcome back to News Extra. This next story is one that I wish never happened, but it did, and that is why there is crime and punishment. I'm talking about two suspects that have been arraigned before a magistrate court in Ibadan for allegedly having unlawful carnal knowledge of two aged women. Kayode Oladosun reports that the case was brought before the court by the International Federation of Women Lawyers, Oyo State Branch.
Sexual assault has become a common social vice in different parts of the country these days. The assault spectrum often taking the form of rape or physically intrusive sexual contacts, where females suffer from this unlawful carnal knowledge, such is the case of the alleged rape of 70-year-old Comfort Ajala and 60-year-old Jemilatu Adebowale by one Aruno Jabar and Elijah Ogushola. The matter was brought before Magistrate Abiodun Idowu of Oyo State Magistrate Court 1 for first hearing by the International Federation of Women Lawyers, Oyo State Branch.
People taking this as their right to take what doesn't belong to them. We came in as to watch brief for the complainants, and we say no to rape.
You know, as the magistrate said, that he awaits the legal advice from the office of the DPP. As an association, we ensure that we follow up to get the legal advice out on time.
In his ruling, Magistrate Abiodun directed that the accused be remanded at the Nigerian Correctional Service, Agodi Custodian Center, before the next hearing, as Jemilatu Adebowale was indisposed due to the psychological trauma suffered from the act. 70-year-old Comfort narrates her story.
He was putting on the same cloth on that day. When he came in, he started harassing me sexually with no one to intervene.
The situation being pathetic, members of the International Federation of Women Lawyers are determined to ensure that justice prevails. The case has been adjourned till 13th of February 2020 for further hearing. In Ibadan, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
It is sure a pathetic one and very, very unfortunate. And if the rape story is sad and difficult to explain away, this one is stranger than fiction. Hell was practically let loose in Akure when an angry mob descended on a New Generation church and burnt it down over the rumored discovery of the corpse of a missing boy on the altar of the church. Doris Olumuku reports that no corpse was found in the church though.
About 1 month ago, a 1-year-old boy, Kolawole Gold, was declared missing during a church service at a New Generation church in Akure. The founder of the church, one Alpha Babatunde, was arrested by officers of the Directorate of Security Service based on a petition written by the parents of the missing child. Trouble started Wednesday in Akure when rumors went to town that the corpse of the missing boy was exhumed from the altar of the church. This led to attack on the church and its properties by an angry mob. However, police authorities dispelled the rumors, saying no corpse was found in the church.
It is not true, not at all. Because by now you went to the scene. By now they would have shown you even there at the scene or elsewhere where they have kept the body of the missing child.
The police commissioner and physician in charge of the State Specialist Hospital Akure confirmed that 3 lives were lost in the incident, including that of a police officer.
Some of them were injured and one of our vehicles damaged.
Some individuals were brought in here. The victims, many of them sustained injuries, gunshot injuries, and they are currently being managed.
The situation has been put under control by police and other security agencies. In Akure, Doris Olumoko, NTA News.
The federal government is taking immediate steps to ensure that more heritage sites in Nigeria are captured under the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, disclosed this during his visit to Osun-Osogbo Sacred Grove in Osogbo. Femi Afariogun reports.
Osun-Osogbo Grove in Osun State and Sukkur Cultural Landscape in Adamawa State are the only 2 World Heritage Sites recognized by UNESCO in Nigeria. The visit of the Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, to Osun-Osogbo Grove is to renew the federal government's commitment to protecting culture and tourism, as well as draw global attention to the beauty behind the extraordinary heritage sites. The minister entered the first palace of the first Atauja of Osogbo inside the grove, where cameras were not allowed. It was also at the Osun River, tagged River of Fertility, and the hanging bridge constructed in the year 1935.
Let me use the opportunity of this visit to warn the land grabbers who are threatening the buffer zone around the Osun-Osogbo Grove, which is also a national monument. Will do whatever is possible within the law to keep encroachers at bay.
Though Nigeria is blessed with many heritage sites, the minister announced that the federal government is seeking to enlist the ancient Kano City Wall, the Brazilian Bracon Museum Point of No Return in Badagry, the forest of Okeibo, Ileoluji Axis in Ondo State, the Gashaka Gumti National Park, and the Opunuke Caves in Anambra State as World Heritage Sites. He visited the house of Susan Wenger, popularly known as Aduni Olorisha, a white woman who preserved the Osun-Osogbo Sacred Grove until her death in 2009. The minister was also at the governor's office to renew federal government's commitment at supporting Osun-Osogbo Festival.
Our intention is actually to use this to also alert the world that we have many other heritage sites that qualify for UNESCO World Heritage Sites, and we've visited about 6 of them.
What we are trying to market is cultural tourism. And I realized that even people, countries that don't have what we have, are making so much from Culture and tourism.
The Minister, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, is planning a similar visit to Suko Cultural Landscape in Adamawa State. In Oshogbo, Femi Afari-Ogun, NTA News.
That's a good one, I must say. Now, after 10 years of its suspension, the federal and Kebbi state governments are partnering to mark a spectacular international Argungu Fishing Festival in 2020. At a meeting in Abuja with the Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, Olusegun Ronshewe, the Emir of Argungu, Samaila Mohammed Mira, said the festival would feature 34 different competitions. Wayanaya Kaluoka reports.
Initiated in 1934 in Argungu, Kebbi State, the spectacular fishing festival, held annually to mark the end of the growing season and the harvest, was last celebrated in 2009 due to insecurity problem. Led by the Custodian of Culture and Tradition, the Emir of Argungu, Samaila Mohammed Mira, said Kebbi State government and the Emirate Council are working to host a better festival in March 2020.
The whole idea is to celebrate peace, understanding, and reconciliation between humanity from where about the need. With the new status, the festival is open to the entire world community. And we are opening our hands to receive everyone and anyone who wishes to come.
Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture, Olusegun Ronshewe, said the festival has gone beyond Nigeria and as such should not be allowed to fade away.
Posterity will not forgive everyone in this country if we allow Argungu Fishing Festival to die. Prepared for Argungu Fishing Festival 2020, fully prepared.
In 2016, Argungu Fishing Festival was registered by the United Nations as Intangible List of Cultural Heritage of Humanity. Inaya Kalu Oka, NTA News.
Oh, thank you so much, Aina. Now, if you are thinking of an adventure to a destination, here is revisiting the fascinating story of Farin Ruwa waterfalls that binds Nasarawa and Plateau states to change your mind and save you the rigors of travel visa documentation and time. In addition to the attraction of the natural phenomenon, it is worthy to know plans by the federal government to take advantage for agricultural growth and provision of potable water to communities within the catchment area and beyond. Hamza Musa Magarfi reports.
There are many communities to see and exchange pleasantries as you travel along the route. Happiness is in the air among the people. Still, your ultimate mission is adventure, as getting more closer will require taking a motorcycle or trekking to the waterfalls because of difficult terrain.
Farin Ruwa waterfalls. Come with me.
Soon, the toll gate keeper Emmanuel Agalti welcomes you, and the decaying infrastructure agitates the mind on the imperative of renewal as key element for tourism development in Nigeria. Behold the amazing sight of Farin Ruwa waterfalls, characteristically majestic. The waterfalls, which source from the Jos Plateau, emptying its content into Masangek boundary community on Nasarawa side. It is factual. Farin Ruwa, with a height of 150 meters, surpasses Victoria Falls, which drops from a height of 108 meters, according to findings. To the indigenous people, the charming falls has some age-long traditional significance in preserving their lives.
Our people have been going there right from the time immemorial. It's not just today or tomorrow like that.
Several kilometers downstream, the Nasarawa state government constructed a dam to harness 20 megawatts of electricity, but the project stalled after expending huge resources. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel, with the taking over by the Federal Ministry of Water Resources to re-engineer the dam for irrigation and potable water supply.
The access road is part of the contract we are envisaging. 20-kilometer access road.
I know 60% of the youths here will gain employment. Some
not even necessarily government employment.
Farin Ruwa destination waiting to be fully utilized for economic development of Nigeria. From Farin Ruwa, Hamza Musa Makaripi, NTA News.
Beautiful and charming visuals there from Farin Ruwa. Now, the Nigerian Television Authority is merging passion, dedication and dexterity to confront a future where its services will be powered mostly by technology. At its annual news conference in Abuja, assistant directors and NTA managers nationwide are receiving new marching orders on operationalization. Over now to Abubakar Usmanakonga for details.
Florence Oji has a practical experience of television industry that traversed the three arms of reportorial, editorial and current affairs for more than 3 decades and still seeks for improved performance. This explains why she joins other colleagues across the country at the NTA annual news conference to review progress achieved in 2019 and identify setbacks with firm commitment to surmounting them.
We are all expected to take NTA to the level or to that level that it is aspiring to be.
If we're saying we're 42 years in broadcasting, then we should stay on the path and be the leader and let others follow.
It will enhance our performance, particularly in the area of reportage.
2019 elections coverage and other equivalent tasks the organization carried out during the period underscored the importance attached to the conference.
We are trying to align to the digitization process, so we expect to see NTA expanding its horizon.
Satisfied with the height attained, NTA management resonated paradigm shift in reporting as the theme of the annual conference, with concerns in expanding the ICT space in line with global trend of creativity and excellence in broadcasting. Director General NTA Yakubu Ibn Mohammed commended News Directorate for living above board and pledged continued support for effective coverage of the country, and later presents awards to deserving stations and reporters.
This is an innovation, a positive one, and it should set you guys working harder.
The review conference is an annual practice by NTA management to improve on critical areas of its mandate and to continually develop a quality template for surpassing previous performance, as well as driving in its vision as the largest TV network in Africa. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Thank you, Akwanga, for that. I would say NTA, you can't beat the rich. He is a young graduate who now smiles to the bank, having conquered unemployment through his thriving pap and Akure business. You would get to meet him after these messages.
So, you now want to pick my call?
Then bomb me where? Mommy of life. Final, mommy.
Where my car?
Mommy, now smart things remain.
If my car not ready before tomorrow, me and you go put leg inside one trouser. Well, lie.
That's my phone. Yes, ma. Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Not got this phone, no.
All right. Yes, ma. Hey, Magel,
Kini.
Mommy, no be you. Don't waste your credit. When I finish, I go call.
You call me. Me wear my middle name na credit. Where Glow they give me boku.
Glow and Mebo. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555* PIN hash.
This talk people. I beg, give me my phone, make I go, Joe.
Talon so talk yen.
The medical director and the entire board of management of National Orthopedic Hospital Dala firmly invite the general public to the 60th anniversary fundraising, commissioning of federal government projects, state government projects, and book launch, which will take place as follows. Friday, 20th December, a congregational Jumat service at Gomaja Estate Mosque, Kano. Saturday, 21st December, convocation ceremony of Post Basic Accident and Emergency Nursing School, Post Basic Orthopedic Nursing School, School of Orthopedic Technology, Kano. Sunday, 22nd December, interdenominational Sunday service. Outreach program at the Wakintofa General Hospital, Kano State, and General Hospital Raba in Sokoto State. Monday, 23rd December, continuation of outreach program. Tuesday, 24th December, Grand Diamond Jubilee celebration. Time, 10 a.m. every day. Special guests of honor: the Honorable Minister of Health, Honorable Osagi Emmanuel Ehanire, the Honorable Minister of State for Health, Mr. Adeleki Olorumimbe Mamora, Chairman, Senate Committee on Health, Senator Yahaya Ibrahim Oloriegbe. Guest speaker, the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasir El Rufai. Other dignitaries: His Eminence, the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Saad Abubakar III, His Royal Highness, the Emir of Kano, Alhaji Sanusi Lamido Sanusi II, His Royal Highness, the Emir of Katsina, Alhaji Abdul Mumin Kabirum Usman, and a host of others. Chief host, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Kano State, Dr. Abdullahi Umar Ganduje. All the state's governors and other numerous dignitaries are also invited. Announcers: Dr. M.N. Saliu and Ahmed Shaibu Burenga, the Acting Chairman, Board of Management, National Orthopedic Hospital, Dala.
Them girls just they feel me now, cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they want to get. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body.
To the old school. Everybody love me when I do what I do. Cause when I come through, I got the power of cool. The power of cool.
You don't really own a watch until you own a Chris Air. Until you own a Chris Air.
Black Watch by Chris Air.
Sexy. The Black Watch.
Beautiful.
The Black Watch.
Magnetic. Sexy. Black.
Elegant.
Love the new Black Watch by Chris Air.
Chris Air.
Visit us at Transcorp Hilton Lobby opposite UBA Abuja.
How hot is she?
Maybe a 7. Mm-hmm. How hot is he?
8.5.
Whoa, how hot is she? Very hot. Pick me. Just pick me, baby. Come pick me, girl. Man, I'm all ready for you.
So tasty.
He's so lucky.
Stop being jealous, man.
Mini-Me. Taste the fun.
Great to know you're still with us. Mr. Sarki Awalu is now Substantive Director, Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, for an initial term of 4 years. Following President Muhammadu Buhari's approval, the appointee is a chemical engineer who has been a driving force of the DPR since he joined in 1998 as a principal chemical engineer. A statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, says the new director is a graduate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria who had his postgraduate studies at Bayero University Kano and Petrad, Norway, Petroskill, USA, among other institutions. Sarki Awalu is an associate member Institute of Chemical Engineers, UK, member Society of Petroleum Engineers, member Nigeria Society of Engineers, and Council of Registered Engineers of Nigeria, Koren. Let's say congratulations to him. Now, the 30 years of government Wednesday shared 635.8 billion naira at a December Federal Account Allocation Committee meeting. Presiding over the meeting, Permanent Secretary to the Ministry of Finance, Mahmoud Isa Dutse, said the revenue which was generated in November witnessed a decline in tax collection and oil receipts. Leah Katumba Batunde completes the story.
It is the last Federation Account Allocation Committee FARC meeting for the year. Time to take stock and plan for the new year. Revenue is still a challenge as explained by the permanent secretary to the ministry who chaired the meeting. Value-added tax, companies' income tax, royalties, import duty, petroleum profit tax all decreased significantly in the course of November, while excise duty rose marginally.
This reduction cuts across all the main revenue generating agencies, but the main reduction came from FIRS. NNPC also went down by about 14 billion, from 59.7 billion. That's the general reduction that we've seen. But given the various measures that have been adopted or taken by government, we expect these figures to increase in the coming months.
635.828 billion is the total amount distributed, comprising statutory revenue, value-added tax, exchange gain and forex equalization. Excess crude account is $324.968 million. The meeting ended with assurances that salaries will be paid before the holidays. In Abuja, Nekating Babatunde, NTA News.
Now, this is very, very interesting. Now, gradually, educated Nigerian youths are appreciating the fact that certificates are no longer a guarantee for securing white-collar jobs. Some are taking low-income generating jobs that could be considered menial to earn a living. This brings us to the story of 22-year-old Kano-born NCE holder Abdul Qadir Ishaq Ahmed, who makes lots of money from the sale of pap and beans cake in his community. Awal Salisu tells us the inspiring story.
Pap and bean cake are a common breakfast meal in northern Nigeria. His business is known among mostly middle-aged and elderly women. However, as the world changes, so the business.
Abdul Qadir Ahmed Ishaq, a 23-year-old graduate of Federal College of Education, Kano, is one of the youth that are key into the societal change. He ventured into what is popularly known as a women's business. Abdul Qadir makes and sells pap and beans cake. He took over the business from his aged mother, who could no longer continue with the trade.
We were all born men. She has some female daughters, but they have already got married. So the one that remains is we male. So we just decided, let's just come and do it.
For about 3 years now, the business keeps on growing with the support of his siblings. The affordability of the snacks is among the reasons for recording high patronage, as they make a daily sale of about 10,000 naira. This delicacy attracts customers like Bashir Jafar from faraway places.
Actually, you know, sometimes when you see people doing this kind of business, especially youth at that age, so the thing that you're supposed to do is to encourage them.
Like Abdul Qadir, the customers are of the view that if youth could raise the clamor for white-collar job and engage in businesses such as this, the rate of unemployment and other social vices in Nigeria will be reduced to the barest minimum. And in this case, one can aptly say what a woman can do, a man can do better. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
I'm not going to say anything to that. Yes, what? Okay. I won't say that because I'm a woman. Now, youths are often referred to as leaders of tomorrow, yet the same youths allow themselves to be used to destroy that future through the perpetration of violence and conflicts. The need to eject these merchants who in the past denied Plateau peace is the thrust of the Youth Summit organized by the Operation Safe Haven in Jos. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
Plateau in north-central Nigeria is known for its beautiful, captivating scenery, unique weather condition that provides the required ecosystem for different animals, crops and mineral deposits. Despite the abundant gift from God to all, few on the plateau have truncated peace, making trust and harmony an essential scarce commodity in the area.
They keep saying the youths are the leaders of tomorrow. Yet they are using you to destroy your tomorrow.
Ethno-religious communal farmers' headers crisis, cattle rustling and banditry consume lives, displaced thousands of people while property destroyed.
There are people in this state who have benefited for the many years of the crisis. Merchants, conflict pushers. People sit down and then concour all sorts of things in order to pit people against one another. But thank God that today, those things are gradually becoming a thing of the past. I will put them out of business.
To restore the lost glory of Plateau, often referred to as home of peace and tourism, Operation Safe Haven dissected the prevailing crime and administered both kinetic and non-kinetic approach. Through sectors and forward operation base, there were foot soldiers wrecking criminal hideouts. There were various response teams to distress calls. On the other hand, the non-kinetic approach was propagating the message of peace and unity. This annual youth summit, the second in the series, is aimed at consolidating the peace drive of Operation Safe Haven.
I would like all of you here to please take ownership of this peace that we are now having.
We should support the operations of our Operation Safe Haven.
We hardly go out at night, especially once it's 8. You can't be seen outside. It's not very okay.
What of now?
Oh, definitely. Now you can stay out.
The summit is with a theme consolidating on the sustained peace efforts by building Plateau youths today to take up the challenge of tomorrow. From Jos, Plateau State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And the Department of State Services has been in the news in the last couple of weeks for many reasons while in the line of duty. This, however, did not go unnoticed as the Committee on Peace, National Unity and Cohesion honors the helmsman with an award of excellence in Abuja. Francis Fom has the report.
The Department of State Services is responsible for intelligence gathering within the country. The department has constantly adapted to increased roles necessitated by evolving security threats in Nigeria, including counter-terrorism and counter-insurgency. This determination, commitment and dedication of the security organization to enhance national peace and unity earns the Director General this Award of Excellence from the Committee on Peace, National Unity and Cohesion.
To encourage you to continue to be firm, resolute, and unshaken in the performance of your constitutional rules of dictation and provision of internal security.
By coming here maybe to recognize us, I'm sure you must identify with the truth. I thank you for recognizing us, not me alone, but the service, because the service will outlive each and every one of us.
The committee hopes the award will thrust upon the Department of State Services a greater responsibility and challenge to further consolidate on the existing giant's strides. In Abuja, Francis Fom, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Nigerian Air Force is aggressively procuring new assets and creating an avenue for local entrepreneurs and experts in the use and management of its resources. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachku reports that the Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, stated this at the 11th inaugural lecture of the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna.
The global flow of arms, for example, is no longer under the exclusive control of nation states.
Professor Omar Ta, setting the tone for the 11th professorial inaugural lecture of the Nigerian Defense Academy. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, gave testimony of the successes made in widening the horizon and strategic focus of the Nigerian Air Force through partnership with research institutions. He attributed the success being achieved in defeating terrorism to the continued support being given to Nigerian armed forces by the Buhari administration.
The Nigerian Air Force has maintained a strong belief in Nigerian universities and research institutions. We refuse to accept negative stereotypes about our universities. Our units, formations, assets, and platforms are undergoing significant transformation.
Interagency cooperation and intelligence were also highlighted as catalysts for achieving success in the fight against insurgency and other crimes in Nigeria.
Academic education and military training complement each other. In this day and age of high technology warfare, our military officers should be exposed to the best of both military and academic culture.
The professorial inaugural lecture has become a tradition in the Nigerian Defense Academy, with this year's theme, Combating Insurgency and Violent Extremism in the 21st Century. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
And still on security matters, the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole says it has dealt another decisive blow on terrorist elements operating in Kirta, Wulgo and Ngoseke in the northeast of the country. Correspondent Najat Tijani reports on the two-day airstrike tagged Operation Rattlesnake.
In a statement by NAF Director, Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, the operation was executed on 15 December after credible human intelligence reports indicated that 3 green-roofed buildings at the edge of the settlement were being used as warehouses by ISWAP elements. Subsequently, the Air Task Force, after carrying out confirmatory intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions, dispatched an attack aircraft to engage the location, scoring accurate hits in successive strikes, leading to the destruction of the buildings. And on 16 December 2019, after a Nigerian Air Force intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance aircraft had over a series of missions observed the scaling up of terrorist activities in some compounds within the settlement, detailed an enhanced force package of attack aircraft to engage the location. To head the target area, a significant number of terrorists were observed. The munitions from the attack aircraft hit the designated location, wiping out part of the cluster of buildings in the area and neutralizing several of the Boko Haram terrorist fighters. The Nigerian Air Force says it will continue to operate in concert with surface forces to destroy all remnants of the terrorists in the northeast.
Well, thank you so much, Naja. Keep keeping us posted. It's now time for us to go on another break. Please stay with us.
What's football without banter? We love banter. All kinds of banter. Like the banter from a safe distance.
We go beat in later.
There's the "this is still my house" banter.
Dad, 40 isn't so bad.
It's not as bad as 0-0. You're only calling to banter.
It's just so
bad belly banter.
Your team can't even score an own goal.
Dry banter.
I beg, take Joe. This is the only cup your team will be winning this season.
And then there's that. Better banter. Whatever the banter better with Coca-Cola, the official soft drink partner of the English Premier League.
Wake up. Nothing can hold us down. Get up. Born to wear the crown.
Breakfast good day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
Everybody dance now. We are the strongest. No challenge can stop us. So
Let Malta goodness fuel your greatness. Let's go.
Treat your family to a cereal that's made from the natural goodness of maize and soya protein and specially combined with Grain Smart, a smart combination of vitamins and iron, so that they have the right kind of energy to help them reach their full potential and turn the simple into amazing. Eat up and carry go, because nothing do you. Golden Morn, make every day amazing.
Nestle, good food, good life.
them girls just they feel me now. Cause I get some money, then they feel me now. Back then they do me anyhow. I don't get some money, they want to get it. Oh yeah, shake body. Oh yeah, move body. Make you ring alarm. Oh yeah, shake body.
Why keep mixing things when you can have all in one? New Mr. Muscle All-Purpose Cleaner. Have the cleaning power, so you can easily dance right through a variety of tough messes like spills and stains, grease and soap scum, and get back to the things you love. New Mr. Muscle All-Purpose Cleaner. Get your power in one. SC Johnson, a family company.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka. No panic.
Can say me no panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Yeah, press OK. Wow, now you self fit catch all those channels will be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your group for no loss. You see as I do, Abi? And I see as I do,
Go TV, live it, love it.
And I see as we do,
My name is Yemi Adetunji, the COO downstream of NNPC. Ever since the closure of the borders, we have seen a marked reduction of about 10% in terms of the evacuation of what you call loadouts of PMS, which equates to about 6 million liters per day, essentially because of the border closure. Because of certain aspects we've also done as NNPC, working with our sister organizations, sister agencies, Nigerian Customs, DPR, Federal Ministry of Petroleum Resources, and other agencies, and also what we call Operation White, which is an intervention we have put in place to trace and track every molecule of petroleum products as they arrive in country through the vessels, as they move through the depots, and as they are evacuated with trucks out of the depots.
Welcome back. The Nigerian Incentive-Based Risk-Sharing System for Agriculture Lending, NARSAL, in collaboration with the Edo State Government, has launched the 2019 harvest season of over 400 hectares of maize in the Sobe Agricultural Farm Settlement in Owan West Local Government in Edo State. Anwule Okolo reports that the government also used the opportunity to sign an amendment to the MOU it entered with NARSAL for an expansion to other areas like poultry, fishery and piggery.
This expansive maize farm on a 500-hectare of land is the outcome of a collaboration between NARSAL and the Edo State Government, aimed at improving the livelihood of 880 farmers on an aggregate of 440 hectares of land spread across the 18 local government areas of the state. The successful completion of the Sobe Grain Farm, which is the first phase of the Edo State Agripreneur Program,
the gesture that he has and has executed here in the farm settlement, we are very, very pleased with it.
This project is geared towards enabling the flow of finance, linkage to market, and utilization of technologies for improved yields and guaranteed returns to the farmers. An effort the managing director of NARSAL, Aliyu Abdulhamid, says has recorded 100% increase in yields at 4 metric tons per hectare.
We also covered this project with area yield index insurance, and on top of it all, we issued 75% guarantee cover to the project.
Governor Obaseki asked the beneficiaries to canvass the success of the project in order to get more people to take advantage of the initiative.
We as government do not know how to do business. We only know how to run governments. So our policy is to let our citizens, the private people who know what to do, let them do their business and let government support them.
NARSAL is a non-bank financial institution wholly owned by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Its mandate is to stimulate the flow of affordable finance and investments into the agricultural sector.
The farmers
are looking forward to next year planting season already, with an expectation of more yields, more farmlands and more financing support from the government. From Sobe, I'm Leo Kolo, NTA News.
And if you have ever traveled to the southern part of this country and looked around, you will appreciate this next story that I'm about the growing rate of gully erosion in most parts of Imo State. We hear it has become a major environmental challenge due to its effect on the lives of the people. A good example and most devastating is that of Amaigbo community in Nwagele local government area of the state, where erosion is presently threatening the existence of the Imo State College of Health and Management Science. Let's join Beatrice Anyam as she brings us details.
Statistics show that there are over 800 gully erosion sites of different magnitude, including those at the formative stage in Imo State. 76 out of this number are identified as major sites with a depth of not less than 50 to 100 meters and a width of not less than 200 meters. For now, only 5 pilot sites have been approved for project implementation. However, the devastating Amibo Gully site, which is more than 50 meters depth and widens by the day, especially during the rainy season, is not yet among the identified gully sites in the state. The gully has got off the 2 villages from each other. Gully, which is right at the fence of the College of Health and Management Science, has left the 2 neighboring villages of Amibo community with only the choice of constructing bamboo bridge, though not without its attendant consequences.
More than 5 persons have died of this erosion.
This is the only land my late husband left for us, but this erosion have taken almost all of them.
You can see some buildings this college have taken down.
Other leaders who lamented the situation, which has defied every palliative measure so far adopted by the villagers, are appealing. If
nothing is done very soon to remedy this situation, more than 3 political wards will be cut off.
I'm appealing for government intervention.
Even palliative measures again, or temporary mitigation measures, wouldn't solve this problem.
Imo State Project Coordinator speaks.
Part of what the governor has done now is actually identifying these sites that are being considered as emergency.
Is the hope of the people that help will soon come their way. Beatrice Anyam, NTA News.
To be forewarned is to be forearmed. Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps has been barking. Now, it wants to bite. That is why it is charging motorists to adhere strictly to road traffic laws during the Yuletide, as offenders will be prosecuted by its mobile courts designated at various corridors of the country. Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi read the Riot Act at the 2019 end of the year special patrol press conference. Oyeyemi Ajayi has the details.
The highway busier than earlier in the year. Reasons not far-fetched. The fast approaching Christmas celebration and New Year. Yes, the celebration are fast approaching, but cars too fast and drivers without required papers will not be getting greeting cards from the FRSC. Yellow and red cards will be enforced during the operation with the codename Operation Zero Tolerance for Road Crashes.
We are not going to allow vehicles to be overloaded. We pass such vehicles, we give them citations, and they have to look for another vehicle to transfer the excess before they can continue the journey. We are collaborating with the state traffic management agencies to ensure we have 18 state traffic management agencies now. So we are working with them to ensure that they focus on the urban areas, and some areas on the highways where we need assistance, we'll be able to call them. And I want to warn road users that with the issue of those who do not have their driver's license will not be allowed to be on the road. So that no number plates will not be allowed to be on the road.
While the Corps is working to achieve zero road crashes in line with the United Nations Decade of Action for Road Safety, which has just a year to wind up, 77 of its patrol operatives got the brunt of road indiscipline as they were knocked down by recalcitrant drivers, with 10 of them paying the ultimate price. The Federal Road Safety Corps statistics reveal that between January to October 2019, a total of 9,698 road crashes were involved, and out of which about 4,737 people died. 604 trailers and 296 tankers were also involved in accidents. With more enlightenment and partnerships, especially with the leaderships of different motor parks, as well as heavy deployment of personnel across the country, the FRC says its men are determined to help road users from takeoff to destination for a Yuletide without tears. In Abuja, Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Delta State government is taking a major step in making the state cleaner and devoid of flooding and other environmental hazards this Yuletide and beyond. Eloho Agbra reports that in Warri Access, the Warri Uwe Development Agency is supervising the ongoing cleanup exercise.
It is tagged Operation Keep Your Environments Clean. The program is arising from the constant flooding occasioned by the unfriendly environmental practices by residents. The exercise is not only on state roads, but extended to those of the federal government. For those blocking natural water channels, an ultimatum has been given with an assurance that the exercise would be sustained.
People should stop building on water channels because in the first place, it's not even safe for the person and the family that is going to occupy that place. Water is nature, and one day anything can happen. Before you wake up in the morning, you and your family, you are inside the water already. And again, you are causing more problem to the whole of the environment. Permit or no permit, don't even come and submit anything that is on the waterway. We all know that these are natural waterways.
Cleanliness, they say, is next to godliness. That is why the Okowa-led administration is leaving no stone unturned in actualizing a cleaner and a healthy environment. From Warri in Delta States, I am Eloho Agbra, NTA News.
And as the world marks 2019 International Day of Migrants, stakeholders working on migrants issues in Nigeria are advocating safe, orderly and regular migration. Correspondent Obiageli Ugwoke reports that the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons organized the event in collaboration with the International Organization for Migration in Nigeria.
At a glance, you would think what's going on here is an exercise, but on the contrary, is part of activities marking the 2019 International Migrants Day.
It's another opportunity to bring the stories of migrants to the fore. Thousands of stakeholders converged on Abuja to commemorate the day. Chigozie Cyril is a Libyan returnee. As he shares his experience in Agadez, the Mediterranean Sea and Libya, he charged youth to begin to look inward for opportunities back home, rather than embarking on a dangerous journey.
So day two we put you where we call connection house. If you are a female, you'll be there as a sex slave. No matter what you are facing as a challenge or what, just try and endure. There's a better future.
The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Bashir Garba Mohammed, and others present expressed solidarity to thousands of migrants who lost their lives attempting to reach Europe via the Mediterranean and the Saharan deserts.
This work is a symbol of solidarity with our brothers and sisters who have lost their lives or have gone missing during their journeys through the desert or by the sea in search of a better life. We remember many who have drowned at sea.
We also include community theater as part of our information campaign, education campaign. I think what's important is to get everybody the necessary information so when they migrate.
But however, you must
adhere strictly to the tenets as provided by different member states in terms of migration.
In 1990, the UN General Assembly adopted the International Convention on the Protection of the Rights of All Migrant Workers. Since then, 18th of December every year is set aside to mark the International Migrants Day. Obiageli Ugoke, NTA News.
Now, it has been a jolly good ride so far. Let's take this time out, after which we would take a shot at the remaining segment.
This Saturday on the Premier League, Newcastle United go head-to-head with Crystal Palace. Newcastle aim to secure a win despite losing their principal goal creator.
You are about to witness the commencement of the most stimulating and compelling contest on television. This contest is only for the strong, the intelligent, and the talented. Get ready for the Unity Challenge reality TV show. Coming soon.
Good to have you back. Edo State assures on digitized and successful 2020 National Sports Festival. Clement Oloruntoba has details and sports update.
The Deputy Governor of Edo State and Chairman Local Organizing Committee 2020 Sport Festival, Philip Shuaibu, has promised that all activities at the festival will be digitized as the event is organized to ensure national unity and peaceful coexistence. He made this known at the second and final joint technical meeting in Benin City Tuesday, with the Chairman, Main Organizing Committee, Olushade Adeshola, giving the assurance of the Sport Ministry's support. A 4-day International Cycling Union Mechanics Development Program for 17 Level 1 beginners ended Wednesday at the Velodrome, Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, with a charge on the participants to judiciously utilize what they've acquired in the development of the sports.
I am really happy with the level that the guys are showing here. Next is that they need to continue practice.
The capacity building of this professional figure in the federation, it will be built.
Meanwhile, a team of 5 cyclists made up of 3 female and 2 male are already in South Africa for an intensive training in track cycling ahead of their qualification for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Taking into cognizance that sports talent are banned in the grassroots, stakeholders have re-emphasized that grassroots sport should be pivotal to the development of the sector in Nigeria. This was the thrust at a lecture series to honor the late sport veteran Olajide Fashiku by the Sport Writers Association of Nigeria, FCT chapter in Abuja.
Once those agencies come together, they will be able to pool their resources in order to guide the youth through sports and reduce the menace of internal security.
Meanwhile, the draw for the football event for the Swan Week has been conducted, where the defending champion, the Nigerian Television Authority, placed on bye to the semi-final after winning the tournament back-to-back. Other teams are News Agency of Nigeria, Armed Forces Radio, Radio Nigeria, Blueprint Newspaper, and Voice of Nigeria, as matches commence Thursday. With sports updates, Clement Olonutoba, NTA News.
A delegation from the presidency, led by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, has paid a condolence visit to the family of late Abdullahi Dauda Daura, a nephew of the President in Kaduna. Abdullahi Mohammed reports.
The first port of call for the President's delegation was the residence of the late Abdullahi Dauda Daura, where a warm shake and soothing words of consolation were offered by the delegation to the extended family. And thereafter, a prayer for the repose of the soul of the deceased was offered.
Amen. Amen.
The same scenario played out when the delegation met the deceased elder brother Mamman Daura at his residence.
The President's message is we should come and convey to all of the members of the extended family his message of grief of a sense of loss that such an important member of the family is lost.
Other dignitaries recalled with nostalgia the life and times of the late Abdullahi Dauda Daura.
I always give a lecture every Wednesday, and he was always there with a very good sense of humor.
In Kaduna, Abdullahi Muhammad, NTA News.
And the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, has expressed shock and sadness over the tragic news of the death of Senator Ben Uwajumogu, who represented Imo North Senatorial District of Imo State. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President of the Senate, Ola Awoni, says Senator Lawan commiserated with the family of the deceased senator and the government and people of Imo State over the tragic loss. Lawan also condoled with distinguished senators and friends of the departed legislature, who he recalled that Senator Uwajumogu was full of life at the Senate chamber on Tuesday, which made the news of his death even more difficult to take. Senator Lawan says God gives and takes in line with his supreme sovereignty, so no one can question his will, as he observed that Senator Uwajumogu's sudden death is shocking and a painful loss to the 9th National Assembly, where he always made robust contributions to the debates and other activities at the legislative chamber. And the death has been announced of the first chairman governing council of the Benue State Polytechnic and former commissioner of the defunct Benue Plateau State, Sir Simon Bai, who died on Sunday, December 8, 2019. A requiem mass will be held in his honor on Friday, 20th December 2019 at St. Augustine Kwasi Parish, Makudi. He will be buried in his hometown in Tombombaku, Makudi, local government area of Benue State. And now, let's find out what the weather prospect looks like for tomorrow.